What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Addicted to Madden channel. Thank you for watching. This is my I think my fourth upload, and again with this channel I tried not only just to put some commentary on some games, but I try to upload things that might help you out in Madden. If you're the kind of, you can always get better at Madden. You're never too good at Madden unless you're never losing, but that's not the case with anybody. No matter how good you are, you can still lose games, and there's always something to learn. I always learn something every year when I play Madden. So every year when I think that I know everything there is to know about Madden, I always still learn more. So that's what my goal is with this channel. And this particular game here, he's using the Colts, I'm using the Dolphins. Kind of fall in love with the Dolphins. Usually when it comes to Madden, I kind of use like a few teams to start the year off, and then eventually I'll fall in love with one team. And every year it seems to be like a different theme that I go for. In Madden 12, I remember just picking a team that had like two really good rocket catchers, and I was all about the rocket catch offense. That's all I did. Last year's Madden, it was I was always using whoever the worst team was. So every week when they had the roster updates and the rating updates, whichever team ended up being the lowest rated team was the team I wanted to use, because I don't like using the best teams. The best teams, a lot of times the best teams are way overpowered, and so if you win with the best teams, you don't even know if it's because of you or because it's the team you're using. And I do believe that some teams are so overpowered that an inferior player can beat a really good player just because the little things are going to go your way when you're the better team. So I never use, no matter what Madden game that ever comes out, I will never ever use the best team. I'll always use either a team that's somewhere in the middle or maybe in the lower end of the pack. And I remember last year, Madden 13, I was always using the worst team. But then I also like to use a team that's got a pretty decent defense. Not the best defense, because again, probably the team with the best defense is going to be the team that's the highest ranked. But a team that's pretty good, and that's what the Dolphins have. They have, at every level, they have somebody in the 90s, or at least the high 80s. They have Cameron Wake as the left end, and he's a 91 or something. Oh, no, actually, I think I don't know where he's a 90 something. He's really, really good. So I like him. And at the linebackers, they've got a couple of guys that are in the mid to upper 80s, so that helps there. And then they have a safety that's a 90 and a corner that's a 90. So they've got a good defense. They got a kind of an underrated defense. Not too many people know that much about the Dolphins, and they sleep on them. And I know in real life they are, I think they're like 2-4 now, or 3-4, or somewhere around there. But as far as Madden is concerned, this is actually a really good team. I've been using them, and I've only lost a few times with them, so I really, really like them, and I'm going to keep using them. And he's using the Colts. The Colts are a good team. We got Andrew Luck. He's a really good quarterback. I remember last year, there was a point in time when the Colts were the lowest rated team. So I actually did use the Colts for a little bit last year. So I'm very familiar with them. But it's good. So this is a good game here. I like games like this where it's two teams that you don't see that often being used in Madden. Again, most people this year are using the Niners or the Seahawks just because those are the two best teams. And you see a lot of people using, a lot of people in the beginning were using the Redskins and the Eagles and the Raiders. I actually haven't seen those teams in a while though now. I'm not sure why people have stopped using them, but those two teams were really, really popular early on. In fact, I used to use those teams myself, but then I kind of stopped. So now I'm using the Dolphins. They also have Ryan Tannehill, who's a good enough quarterback for me. He's not the most mobile, but he's mobile enough. He's mobile enough that I can, make some plays with him. I don't try to do any kind of read option stuff with him unless it's something I'm going to throw in just to throw my opponent off. But otherwise, for the most part, I just use him as a pocket quarterback, and he's really, really he's good. He's good enough for me. I like him. So for the gameplay here, it's 15-14 me. And how it got to 15, you saw that 2-point conversion that I went for. The reason why I did that is because he went off sides on the extra point, and so I always, anytime somebody does that with me, I'm just going to go ahead and accept the penalty, get the ball on the 1-yard line, and then go ahead and just QB sneak it. It works about 90% of the time. So And that's an idea I got from Mr. Golden Sports, so I thank him for that, because I saw him doing that in one of his videos, and that was ever since then I've been doing that myself very regularly. But I only do it once per game. In my 2-point conversion game that I uploaded before, which is on my channel, I talk more about, you know, when you should and should not go for 2-point conversions. So I won't go into that too much in this video. You can just watch that one to see that. And driving down the field with pretty good ease. Again, Madden is an offensive game, and so I've worked really hard at just trying to be really good on offense. It's you know, it's very important. You know, when you want to get good at Madden, you got to master offense, and then you got to master time or clock management. And so basically, when I scored that touchdown, I did that at the end of the half, and he only had so much time to get the, you know, to maybe score at the end of this half, but I picked him off, and I end up scoring again here, I think. Yeah. So I go into halftime with a 30 or a 29-14 lead, and you know, it's towards the end of the half, I always will go to max coverage. A lot of people hate on that, but I go to that because, number one, it milks the clock. It milks the clock for the defense. So that's what you want to do when you're getting towards the end of the half or the end of the game. Is I go to max coverage. It takes a lot of time off the clock. So we're in the second half now, and he goes for the onside kick, which I expected him to do. That's why I came out in the onside formation, because he's down by 2 scores. And in fact, more than 2 scores. I mean, he needs a touchdown. He essentially needs 3 touchdowns, because he needs 2 touchdowns, but then he's got to get a 2-point conversion, which is another touchdown. So again, I'm just moving the ball down the field on him, and he gets me there at the 2-yard line, and eventually I punch it in here. Which basically moves the score up to 36-14. It's a 22-point lead. At this point in the game, now if you caught the title of this game, it was called the Offer Mercy game. And as you know, whenever you're up by 21 points at halftime, and I think by the time you get to the third quarter, it would have to be 21 points. And I think by the time you get to the fourth quarter, maybe it's 14 or 10 or something like that. But once you are up by enough where you can offer mercy to somebody, you should go ahead and do that. In this game here, which I'm basically, you know, I'm up by 22 points in the third quarter. I'm milking the clock. He's thrown about 5 picks already. You know, this game in a way is over, because I'm just going to milk the clock, and it would take a miracle for him to come back from all of this. He hasn't really done anything on offense. In fact, one of his touchdowns was a defensive touchdown. So he's had basically 1 touchdown and a bunch of picks. So this game is basically over. And at this point, I could easily just offer him mercy, but for some reason I keep playing. And then you're going to see here in a little bit, my internet ends up kicking out, and so he's going to get this win here. He's down by 22 points, basically hasn't really done anything the whole game. I'm up, you know, I'm up at the end of the third quarter, just milking the clock. It would take him a miracle to come back. I mean, I guess anything can happen, but I really wouldn't see how he could possibly win this game. But now I'm going to get the loss here, and if I'd have just offered him mercy at 36, as soon as I scored 36 points, I'd probably have the win. So, assuming he would have accepted it. But anyways, I guess it happens to everyone. But thanks for watching. Keep looking for more videos, and I'm out. Peace.